All right, so are you ready for this? Like, can humanity actually colonize space?
Yeah.
I mean, can we do it without, bringing all our baggage along?
Yeah. It's a big question, isn't it?
Huge. We're talking about, creating societies from scratch
Yeah.
on different planets even.
Yeah. It's definitely ambitious, and it's becoming more and more, actually possible with companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin. They're pushing the boundaries of space travel. It's not just a dream anymore. They're building rockets, designing habitats,
No,
making plans for a future, beyond Earth.
yeah, it's not just science fiction anymore. But, before we get too caught up in the excitement, we're going to take a critical look at the potential pitfalls of space colonization in this deep dive today.
Right.
We're going to use this source called Alternative World. It raises some, really thought-provoking questions about whether we're destined to repeat history's mistakes, even as we venture out into the cosmos.
And what's interesting is Alternative World, it starts by acknowledging the driving forces behind space colonization.
Right.
And there are really two main camps: the survivalists and those who are drawn to opportunity. The survivalists, they see space colonization as a kind of insurance policy for humanity.
Right.
With, all the threats facing Earth, like climate change, resource depletion, pandemics. They believe that establishing settlements on other planets, it's crucial to our long-term survival.
Yeah, it's like a backup plan for the planet.
Yeah.
If things go bad here on Earth, we have somewhere else to go.
Right.
But the opportunity side is also really compelling. Pushing the limits of what we know.
Yeah.
Exploring new frontiers.
Yeah.
Potentially unlocking resources and technologies that could revolutionize life as we know it.
Exactly.
It's not just about survival for them. It's about expanding our horizons, reaching
Yes.
for a future with more possibilities.
And, both perspectives have valid points.
Yeah.
Survival is deeply ingrained in us, but so is that drive to explore, to push beyond what we know, to discover. It's what led our ancestors to migrate across continents and sail across oceans, and now it's, propelling us towards the stars.
But here's where things get a little tricky and maybe even concerning.
Okay.
Alternative World draws some stark parallels between historical colonization here on Earth and what could happen in space. I mean, think about the colonization of the Americas.
Right.
It brought advances in technology and trade,
Yeah.
but it also resulted in exploitation, displacement of indigenous populations, environmental damage,
Sure.
and centuries of conflict.
Yeah, it's a sobering reminder that human history is full of cautionary tales.
Right.
And as we embark on this new chapter of space colonization, we have to ask ourselves, can we break free from those patterns of exploitation and domination? Or are we doomed to repeat the same mistakes on a, cosmic scale?
It's a heavy question. It deserves serious consideration.
Yeah.
And it leads us to another critical issue that Alternative World digs into.
Yeah.
Governance. Who gets to make the rules in a space colony? What kind of political systems will we establish? Will it be a democracy, a technocracy, or something completely new?
Well, the source raises some intriguing points about the challenges of establishing governance in a new environment. Here on Earth, our systems of government have evolved over centuries, shaped by our cultures and history. But on a space colony, we'd be starting from scratch, facing circumstances and pressures we've never dealt with before.
Yeah, imagine trying to create a fair and just system while dealing with the realities of surviving on another planet.
Right.
Limited resources, life support systems, threats from the environment. The stakes would be unbelievably high. And Alternative World really highlights that potential for conflict and instability if we don't, carefully consider the complexities of governing a space colony.
Yeah, and what's particularly interesting is that right now, private companies like SpaceX, they're at the forefront of space exploration.
Yeah.
And while their innovation is impressive, it also raises questions about, corporate influence.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And the potential for profit motives to override ethical considerations.
Right.
Could we see a scenario where corporations essentially control entire colonies, dictating laws,
Yeah.
allocating resources, shaping society to benefit themselves?
It's almost like a science fiction dystopia where corporate interests are more important than human rights and the well-being of the colonists. And it's not just hypothetical. We've seen how powerful corporations can be here on Earth, lobbying governments, influencing public opinion, shaping policies to benefit their bottom line. It's not a stretch to imagine those same dynamics playing out in space.
Right. And the source emphasizes the importance of establishing clear ethical frameworks and regulatory mechanisms right from the beginning. We need to think carefully about how to balance the roles of government, private enterprise, and the colonists themselves in shaping the future of these settlements.
We need to make sure that space colonization doesn't just become another chapter in the story of human exploitation and inequality. It's about creating a future where everyone has a chance to thrive,
Yeah.
where innovation is driven by, ethical principles,
Yeah.
and where the lessons of history are truly learned and applied.
And that brings us to another crucial aspect highlighted in Alternative World, the environmental challenges. We're already struggling with sustainability here on Earth,
Oh, yeah.
facing climate change, deforestation, pollution.
Yep.
So how can we ensure that we don't repeat those mistakes on other planets?
Yeah, especially when you consider that resources on other planets are likely to be even more scarce than they are here. We can't just assume we can take what we want without considering the long-term consequences.
Exactly. The source raises concerns about mining operations,
Right.
potentially disrupting ecosystems, exhausting limited resources,
Yeah.
and even contaminating water sources.
Oh, wow.
We've seen how reckless resource extraction has devastated environments here on Earth. We need to learn from those mistakes.
It's about finding ways to live sustainably in these new environments, minimizing our impact, ensuring that we don't destroy the very places we're seeking to inhabit.
It's not just about getting to Mars or establishing a colony. It's about how to live there responsibly, in harmony with the environment,
Right.
recognizing that we're not just visitors passing through, but potential stewards
Yeah.
of these new worlds.
And that stewardship requires a deep understanding of the unique characteristics of each planet, its resources, its potential vulnerabilities. We can't simply impose our Earth-centric worldview onto these new environments.
Right. It's about approaching space colonization with humility, recognizing that we have a lot to learn and our actions will have consequences that go way beyond our immediate needs.
Yeah.
It's a huge responsibility, but it's also an incredible opportunity to do things differently, to create a future where sustainability is at the forefront. And speaking of doing things differently, Alternative World brings up another challenge that's connected to our technological advancements, the tech divide. We're becoming more and more reliant on technology here on Earth.
Yeah.
And that reliance will only grow stronger in space colonies. Life support systems, food production, communication, transportation. It will all depend on advanced technology.
It's like a whole new level of dependence on technology.
Right.
But it makes you think, if we already struggle with, equal access to technology here on Earth, how's that going to work in space colonies? Will we just create societies where only the privileged few have access to what they need to survive?
It's a legitimate concern.
Yeah.
We see how the digital divide can create inequality here on Earth. And in space, where technology is essential for survival, the consequences could be even more significant.
Yeah, it's almost like a sci-fi caste system, where your access to technology determines your place in society. And that brings up some ethical questions about who benefits from space colonization and who gets left behind.
The source argues that we need to be proactive in addressing these potential inequalities, making sure that everyone in a space colony has access to essential technologies,
Right.
not just an elite group. It's about creating educational opportunities that empower everyone to participate in a technologically advanced society.
So it's about fostering inclusivity and making sure the benefits of technology are shared fairly. We can't just repeat the same patterns of inequality we see here. Space colonization is a chance to build something better, more just, more equitable.
And that leads us to maybe the most fundamental challenge, human nature itself.
Okay.
Alternative World poses this thought-provoking question. Can we really escape our tendencies toward greed, conflict, and short-sightedness, even in a totally new environment?
So can we evolve as a species just by changing our location? Will we bring our prejudices, our biases, our competitiveness with us to these new worlds?
Right. The source doesn't give any easy answers, but it does suggest that we need to be realistic about human nature. We can't assume that escaping Earth will suddenly transform us into a more enlightened species.
Yeah.
We'll still face the same challenges of cooperation, conflict resolution, and resource allocation.
So it's not about running from our past, but confronting it, understanding it,
Yeah.
and actively working to create systems that can control our less desirable tendencies. It's about recognizing that building a just and harmonious society takes constant effort, whether it's on Earth or in space.
Exactly. And that effort starts now, here. We can't wait until we're on Mars to figure out how to live together peacefully and sustainably. We need to develop those skills, test those systems, and build those ethical frameworks right now.
Yeah, it's like a dress rehearsal for a cosmic performance.
Yeah.
We need to get things right here on Earth before we take the show on the road.
Precisely. And alternative world also raises a fascinating question about interacting with extraterrestrial life. What if we encounter life on another planet? Will we treat it with respect, or will we fall back into our old ways of exploitation?
It's a mind-blowing thought. I mean, we've seen how humans treat other species here, often with cruelty and disregard. So it's a valid concern to wonder if we're capable of approaching alien life with respect,
Yeah.
rather than as a resource to be exploited or a threat to be eliminated.
Yeah. The source emphasizes that we need to develop an ethical framework for interacting with extraterrestrial life, one that prioritizes coexistence and understanding.
Hmm.
It's about recognizing that we are not the only intelligent beings in the universe,
Right.
and that we have a responsibility to treat all life forms with respect.
It's humbling to think we might not be alone. And it challenges us to rethink our place in the cosmos, to move beyond an Earth-centered view and embrace a more expansive perspective.
Yeah, a perspective that acknowledges the interconnectedness of all life.
Right.
And that shift is crucial not just for how we might interact with alien life, but for how we approach space colonization as a whole. It's about recognizing that we're not conquerors seeking to claim territory. We're explorers venturing into the vast unknown.
So it's about approaching space colonization with wonder, curiosity, and a willingness to learn, not with a sense of entitlement or dominance.
Exactly. And that's where Alternative World offers a more optimistic outlook.
Okay.
While it acknowledges the challenges and potential problems,
Right.
it also suggests that we can avoid repeating past mistakes.
Okay.
If we approach space colonization with humility, foresight, and a commitment to ethical principles.
So it's not about giving up on the dream of space colonization. It's about being realistic about the complexities and taking steps to ensure we're building a future that benefits everyone, not just a select few.
Exactly. The source highlights several key areas to focus on. First, we need to prioritize fairness and sustainability in everything from resource allocation to habitat design, creating systems that ensure equal access to resources and opportunities, minimizing our environmental impact, and fostering shared responsibility for the well-being of the colony.
So we should be thinking of space colonies like self-sustaining ecosystems, where resources are carefully managed, waste is minimized, and the environment is treated with respect.
Precisely. And that means moving away from the linear extractive models of resource use that we've depended on here on Earth.
So moving towards a more circular economy where resources are reused, recycled, and waste is seen as valuable, not something to be thrown away.
Exactly. And second, we need to think critically about how we'll use technology in these colonies. It's essential to ensure equal access to technology. So the benefits of space exploration are not just for a select few.
It's about avoiding a two-tiered society,
Right.
where some have advanced technology while others are left behind, like a space-age digital divide.
Precisely. And that means a dedicated effort to provide education, training, and infrastructure, so everyone in the colony can participate in a technologically advanced society.
So it's about empowering everyone to contribute, to innovate, and to benefit from technology's potential.
Exactly. And finally, we need to foster global cooperation and shared responsibility. Space colonization can't be a competition between nations or corporations.
Right.
It needs to be a collaborative effort that unites humanity toward a common goal.
We're all in this together, sharing this planet and venturing into the unknown as one species. That's a powerful idea, isn't it?
It is, and it highlights the transformative potential of space exploration. It's not just about technology. It's about pushing the boundaries of what it means to be human.
So we've talked about a lot, the challenges, the potential solutions, and the need to work together. But Alternative World brings up one more thing, and it's a big one, the unknown. We're going into a place we know very little about. What surprises might be out there?
It's a question that really gets the imagination going. We can guess, but the truth is, space is full of unknowns, and those unknowns could challenge everything we think we know, force us to change, and maybe even lead to discoveries that completely change how we see the universe and ourselves in it.
It's like setting sail on an ocean we've never mapped. Could be incredible discoveries. Could be dangers we never even thought of. It's exciting and scary all at the same time, right?
Absolutely. And that mix of wonder and uncertainty is what makes space exploration so fascinating. It's a journey into the unknown. We don't know what the outcome will be, but one thing's for sure, the choices we make today will shape that journey and determine the kind of future we create out there in the stars.
So much responsibility. So Alternative World brings up this point. With all the talk about governance and sustainability and technology, We can't lose sight of the wonder and inspiration that drives us to explore space. At its core, it's about pushing the limits of what we know, expanding our horizons, satisfying that curiosity that's always made us want to explore.
Right.
It's like we're tapping into that same spirit of adventure that pushed our ancestors to explore new continents and sail across oceans. It's about going beyond what we know, venturing into the unknown, discovering what's out there.
And throughout history, those journeys of exploration haven't just given us more knowledge. They've sparked innovation, led to incredible technological advancements. Think about the inventions that came out of the age of exploration, like new tools for navigation, better ways to build ships, new systems for communication.
It's like the challenges of exploration make us come up with new ideas, right? Creative solutions to problems we've never seen before. And those solutions often end up being useful for more than just exploration. Look at the technologies from the space program. GPS, satellite communication, memory foam, scratch-resistant lenses. They're part of everyday life now.
Exactly. That's why space exploration is so important for progress. It pushes us to think differently, to come up with new technologies and ways of doing things that benefit all of humanity. Not just the people going into space. It's an investment in our future, a way to spark innovation that can help us solve problems here on Earth, create a better world for everyone.
So it's not just about getting away from Earth problems. It's about finding solutions that can help us fix those problems and build a better future. It's this amazing cycle. Exploration leads to innovation, and innovation leads to progress that benefits everyone.
Exactly. And as we keep exploring space, that cycle is going to get even faster. Trying to live on other planets will force us to create even more advanced technologies like life support systems that are self-sufficient ways to grow food without wasting anything, new ways to create energy and manage resources. And these new ideas could have a huge impact on how we live here on Earth, too.
It's the ultimate test of sustainability.
Right.
Figuring out how to live on a planet with limited resources makes us rethink everything about how we consume waste and manage what we have. And those lessons can be really important as we deal with environmental problems here.
Absolutely. Which brings us back to that main question. Can we colonize space without making the same mistakes? Looking at alternative world, I think we can. But it means changing how we think, committing to doing things ethically and sustainably, and understanding that space exploration isn't about conquering, it's a journey we take together.
Leaving behind the bad parts of colonialism and starting a new era of cooperation and respect. Seeing space not as something to take advantage of, but as a place where we can create a new vision for humanity, one that's about innovation, sustainability, and appreciating how everything is connected.
And maybe, just maybe, as we go further into space, we'll discover that the biggest journey isn't outward, but inward, a journey of self-discovery, a realization that we're all connected to the universe and its wonders.
That's a really beautiful thought. I feel like we've gone on a journey, not just through space, but through what it means to be human. We've explored the tough parts, the exciting parts, and the responsibility that comes with going beyond our planet. But the most important thing I think we've learned is that the future of space exploration is up to us. It's not set in stone. We're shaping it with every choice we make, every invention we create, every step we take toward understanding our place in the universe. So as we finish this deep dive, I want to leave you with one question to think about. What kind of future do you see for humanity in space? What will be important to us as we go? And what will we leave behind for others? Keep exploring, keep asking questions, keep imagining. The future of space is in our hands.